So I've cleansed, toned and moisturised, and now I'm priming with the Laura Geller Spackle primer. And that just gives a really good base for my makeup and fills in any open pores. Next, I'm going in with a eyelid primer. This one is by NARS, and again, it's very good for creating a really good base for my eyeshadow, but it also helps pigment adhere and stay put all day, which is very good for me because I have quite greasy eyelids, which is nice. So I'm just making sure I rub that in and blend that well. Then I'm starting with eyeliner, working from the centre of my eye outwards. As you can see, I've got quite hooded eyes, so I don't want to go too close to the inner corner as that will make my eyes look smaller. I'm making the line a little bit wider towards the outer corners of my eyes, just to create the illusion that my eyes are larger than they are, because I don't have much mobile eyelid because of my hooded eyes when my eyes are open. All I do on the top of my eyes is just really go into that lash line just to create the illusion of thicker and longer eyelashes. When I've finished with my eyeliner, the next thing I'm going to do is my eyeshadow. To create a really nice line between the end of my lash line and the end of my brows, I just hold a tissue up, which gives me a really good almond shape, stops pigment going over where I want it to go. And I'm just starting with putting pigment in that outer corner of my eye, again, as I mentioned, in a kind of oval shape with a sort of very natural taupey colour. And by putting that just on those outer corners, it's just, again, creating that illusion that my eyes are bigger. But by putting shade in there, it's also creating the illusion that there's more depth to my eye than there actually is. I'm then going in with a darker colour, which again will make my eyes look more receded than they are. So even though I've got hooded eyes, it will give me that crease line that I don't have naturally, because unfortunately my skin comes down over my eyelids. So now with a dry brush, I'm just spraying some water onto that and going on top of the eyeliner I did earlier with some eyeshadow, just to create a little bit more of a smoky effect on my lower lash line. And then with a really lovely highlight creamy white colour, I'm going into the corners of my eyes and just underneath the outer corners of my eyes, underneath my eyebrows, to create the illusion of height, which again helps to make my eyes look larger and again creates that illusion of height and depth. Next, with my IT Cosmetics Brow Universal Pencil, I'm going in to create my eyebrows, starting at the top of my nose, bridge of my nose, and finishing at the end of my outer corner of my eye. And apologies for the guest appearance by my son Tristan in the background there, he's a pickle. I'm now going in with foundation. I'm using Charlotte Tilbury medium shade in 4.5. It's her Magic Foundation. It's really good because it's buildable, so you can make it as natural or as opaque as you wish. As you can see, I've got a lot of pigmentation from sun damage done earlier in my life before I knew better, so I like to build up quite a heavy coverage. I'm now going in with my beauty blender. You'll see that I am spraying it with water first. This is to stop too much product going into the sponge and wasting it. And I'm just pressing that into the skin, putting a lot of coverage on there to make sure I cover all of my pigmentation. You'll see that I'm not happy with the amount of coverage once I've checked my skin in the mirror. So I actually go in and I reapply even more. And that's the really good thing about this foundation, is you can just keep building it until you've got the desired level of coverage. In this particular instance, because I'm going out after this recording, I did want to create quite a good coverage. But perhaps more of a morning school run look, I wouldn't use this much foundation. Once I finish with the beauty blender, I'm then going to go in and give my skin a really, really good buff with my foundation buffing brush. And this just makes sure that all of that foundation is really, really buffed into the skin really well. And once I've created my flawless foundation base, I will then go in with my concealer, my highlighter and my under eye brightener. But as you can see, I'm just taking that onto the ears, under the chin, down the neck and into the hairline. So the next thing I'm going in with is my under eye Clarins eye brightener. This is very good for those of you who have older eyes. In my case, I've got quite a lot of lines under my eyes. This is a 00, so it's quite a light colour, and it's called their Instant Perfector, and it's really good at just getting rid of those telltale dark circles and helping conceal under eye wrinkles. I'm now using a NARS creamy concealer just to conceal the pigmentation that I showed you earlier and really blur that out. The shade I'm using is light number 2. Next, I'm going to use my Bare Minerals Stroke of Light highlighter. I'm going to put this between my brows on my forehead and down the centre of my nose, which creates the illusion that my nose is a little bit slimmer than it is, and down those telltale marionette lines by my mouth, just to make those look a little bit less defined. Next, I'm taking my small Beauty Blender sponge and just pressing the product into my skin under my eyes and using the warmth of my fingers to just make sure that's fully absorbed into my skin. So I'm using a combination of my small Beauty Blender, which again I've made sure is nice and covered with water so that the product doesn't go into the sponge but onto my skin, and then helping the warmth of my finger really absorb the product into my skin. Now that I'm happy with my base, I'm going to set all of that with my translucent powder. This one's by Laura Mercier. It's really finely milled, so it's great for going into pores and not sitting on the skin. So I tap a little bit into the lid, and then I swirl my brush, tap off the excess and really push that into my skin. So make sure that it goes into my skin rather than just brushing it over the top. I pay particular attention to my T-zone, which can get a little bit oily throughout the day. Next, I'm going to take my bronzing palette and highlighting palette and do a little bit of light contouring. Firstly, with the darker bronzing colours, I will go in just to the area underneath my cheekbone and create a little bit of darkness, and then around the edge of my forehead. I've got a slightly square shaped face, so I just reduce the illusions that my face is square by putting darkness towards the edge of my forehead and underneath my chin, and it just makes my face look a little bit rounder than it is already. And then I take the highlighting colour and put that on top of my cheekbones, on top of my nose and my forehead, which makes those areas look a little bit lighter. And it's all about creating the illusion of depth and height, which hopefully makes my face look a little bit slimmer. That's the aim of the game anyway. Next, I'm taking my Bobbi Brown Shimmer Brick in Rose. I absolutely love this colour, particularly for people like me who've got more of a pinky complexion. It really helps to make my cheeks look naturally flushed but with a real glow because of the highlighter that's built into the shimmer brick that Bobbi Brown is so good at creating. Next, I'm going in with my liquid highlighter by NARS. This colour is Copacabana. And what I would say to you guys, if there's one thing that you have in your makeup bag by NARS, it should be their highlighter in Copacabana. It's amazing. And it really stays all day. It's just shows up in photographs. It looks really natural. And I completely love it. It's my favourite product. And I always take it on all of the shoots that I do as well. I use it in all my editorials. And photographers comment on how amazing it looks on the skin. The next product is a real secret product I have in my kit and my makeup bag. It's by Mally and it's her Shimmer Light Wand, which is great for highlighting the inner corners of the eyes. And my next product is by Laura Geller. It's a highlighter in French Vanilla, which is a baked cream. So it looks like a powder, but it has the consistency of a cream. Again, I never go anywhere, either for my bridal clients or my editorials, without these products in my kit, because they really, really help bring lightness to the face and it looks amazing in photographs. So my next product that I cannot live without is my waterproof Yves Saint Laurent False Effect Mascara in black. I have quite sensitive eyes, they water quite a lot. So unfortunately, if I don't use waterproof mascara, it does end up down by my knees at the end of the day. This is brilliant for my bridal clients. I first discovered it when I got married myself, and I've not been without it ever since. It's also quite good for my lashes because they're quite short, and it does give the illusion of length. Next product I'm using under my eyes is my Laura Mercier Secret Brightening Powder. When I trained as a makeup artist, this was the one product I was told I needed to purchase by all of the professional makeup artists, and it's something that I use without fail on all my bridal clients because it really gives the illusion that eyes are wide awake. Finally, I'm using my DFMA nude lip liner to line the outside of my lips. This helps stop the lipstick itself bleeding into my fine lines that are starting to develop around my mouth. And then colour-wise, I'm using Guilty Pleasure by the amazing Doll 10, which can be purchased on QVC, topped up with her lip gloss, which is on the other end of this lipstick. And I absolutely love this product. It lives in my makeup bag. Other makeup artists that I've worked with have loved it and gone out and bought it. I use it quite a lot with my brides because it's a really lovely pink natural colour, and I love it because it really goes with my skin tone. I have to apologise again, my children are in the background. It's the school holidays, and they are pestering me somewhat, hence why you occasionally see them in the back of my mirror, and I'm chatting them through what I'm doing as they're absolutely fascinated. Having looked at my makeup and sort of had a final check, I decided that my brows needed a little bit of enhancing. So I'm using my amazing DFMA brow palette. I love this palette. It's very inexpensive. I got it when I actually trained with the Makeup Academy, but it gives a really lovely, natural, buildable colour, and I'm using the taupe shade on my brows as I've got fairly light hair, although obviously it's highlighted blonde, but my eyebrows are naturally quite fair. You can see in the background my son Tristan is desperate to be in on the action, and both him and my daughter will be making a guest appearance at the end of this video. So the final thing to do is to set my makeup, and I'm using the amazing Urban Decay All-Nighter Setting Spray just to keep everything in place. It's quite humid outside, so I really want to keep my makeup where it should be. And as promised, here is the guest appearance from my children.
Thank you for watching my mummy's video. Thank you for watching Nikki's video.
As you can tell, they are my biggest fans, and I'm also theirs. So I hope you enjoyed my tutorial. As you can see, I'm not the most glamorous mum in the world, but I do think I am pretty typical of mums in their 40s with not much time on their hands and lots of things to juggle, work, children, and an ageing face. But hopefully some of the makeup tips I've given you today will help you on your day-to-day makeup routine. But do let me know your thoughts and comments in the box below. I will also tag and write down all of the products that I've used on my face today, and I look forward to seeing you on the next tutorial.